Okay, hello there. We are Alexa Knights, a group for Artificial Intelligence class for semester 2, 2021. My name is Afiq Mohd Rashdi. I'm the group leader, and I'm in Electrical Electronics engineering student, and I'm doing task 3. Okay.
And I am Fadi Dawod, an EP student, final year student as well, and I'll be doing task 2 and 4 along with Dharun.
Hello there, my name is Dharun. I'm an EP student as well, and I'll be handling task 4. Sriram?
My name is Sriram, and I'm an EP student too, and I'll be doing task 5.
Okay, right. Thank you, guys. We are all, as a group, we are all here together, and then all the members is here, all 4 of us. And we proceed to the simulation and the recordings for the Alexa skills that we did. See you.
Hi, my name is Sriram A and I'm from the group Alexa Knights. I'm here to demonstrate on task 1. For task 1, the only information provided by the user is the country's name to get the latest information for coronavirus. There are a total of 6 utterances and only slot required, which is the country's name. Slot filling is needed because it is compulsory to provide a country's name. When no country name is provided, Alexa would ask for a country's name. This would be the codes for task 1, where Alexa gives you the latest coronavirus statistic information from the API. The API chosen would be total country, and this line is important to communicate between servers. These are the variables declared to get the information from the API server. The data is taken from the latest date on the API server. The confirmed cases are also taken from the latest date. Same goes to the death rate, death cases, recovered cases, death rate, and recovery. All the information is then spoken out by Alexa. The information is also sent to Telegram app. If the country entered is invalid, Alexa would say, you have either entered a wrong spelling or the data might be unavailable currently. The invocation name would be project.
Welcome to Alexa Knights Project 1 of Artificial Intelligence Semester 2 2020 to 2021 for Alexa COVID data. You may choose one of the 4 tasks and say, commence task 1, 2, 3, 4 to begin.
The adherence will be commence task 1 for Malaysia.
Total confirmed coronavirus cases in Malaysia on March 13, 2021 is 323,763. The latest number of deaths reported are 1,210 and the rate of mortality is 0.37%. The latest number of recovered cases reported are 306,274 and the rate of recovery is 94.60%. Finally, the latest active cases in Malaysia is 16,711 cases.
The second utterance will be commence task 1 for Singapore.
Total confirmed coronavirus cases in Singapore on March 13, 2021 is 60,105. The latest number of deaths reported are 30 and the rate of mortality is 0.05%. The latest number of recovered cases reported are 59,968 and the rate of recovery is 99.77%. Finally, the latest active cases in Singapore is 97 cases.
And third utterance will be, what is the status on coronavirus in Singapore?
Total confirmed coronavirus cases in Singapore on March 13, 2021 is 60,105. The latest number of deaths reported are 30 and the rate of mortality is 0.05%. The latest number of recovered cases reported are 59,968 and the rate of recovery is 99.77%. Finally, the latest active cases in Singapore is 97 cases.
And the fourth one would be, what is the status of coronavirus in Malaysia with the last spike?
Pardon me, but it seems that you have either entered a wrong spelling of the country or the data might be unavailable currently. Please try again.
And all the data would be sent to Telegram. Thank you.
My name is Fadi Dawod, and I'm going to handle task 2. Okay, continuing from task 1, and now we look into task 2, how we designed it, and we're going to test it. So for task 2, we have 5 utterances, one of which is just for the demonstration purpose. Comments task 2. The format of requesting task 2 is going to be as shown here. For example, we can say, give me coronavirus new data of a specific country on a specific date. Or we can just say coronavirus new data, and then Alexa will ask for which country and which date. So for the slots, we have 4 different slots. Country, and the slot type is first name, and we chose this just to do our task as requested. For the day is ordinal, and this is to convert the input to digits. And month is month from Alexa itself. For the year is gonna be a 4-digit number. Now we look into the details of the slots. All of the slots are required, and all of them requires confirmation. So what is going to happen if we didn't say a country? It will ask which country, and it will follow that by a confirmation for the country itself. For the day, it's gonna be the same thing. For the month, it's gonna be the same thing as well, and for the year, it is the same thing as well. Now we look into the code. So for the code, we started by building the handler itself, get task to intent handler, and we also have it at the bottom, get task to intent handler. And after that, we start building our own code. So asynchronously, we call the handler itself for the input, and this is just because we have an external source, which is the API URL, and we store all the inputs from Alexa in 4 different variables: country, day, month, and year. And we have the URL to be API Covid-19 API.com, and this is the extension as the country. And then this is just to store the data and the response from the URL in a variable called data. So what will happen here is that if we choose a wrong country name that is not in the API array or the database, there is a message going to say not found. So we're going to use this as an advantage in our code, and if data.message was not found, then we know that the country is not in the database. So this is the output of speak output. And else, which means that we have a correct response from the API. We have the following: n is the data length, we have date looking, and this is for the purpose of matching the date, and we have wanted date, and this wanted date will follow a format, and this format is here actually. For example, let's see, 2021-03-01. So we want this to be our format for matching, or for matching. So we have the wanted date to be the year, and then dash, and then the month, and we will look into this defined function later on, as well as the get day, and then dash, and then 01, then 01. Of course, we know that we receive the month to be an ordinal value, January, February, March, and etc. And for the day, it can be a single digit, it can be a double digit, so we want to amend all these issues here. After that, we have the location to be -1, and this is just an indicator. And then we have our speak output, initiation, and those three variables are going to be what we will store our data in, and these are the three outputs that we're going to have. Then we have this for loop, and this for loop will actually act as our looking or seek inside the API array. So we choose date looking, and we make it equals to data I dot date dot substring 0 to 10, and substring 0 to 10 is just to take the first 10 characters here. See, 4, 5, 7, 10. So we just want the first 10 because we're going to match it to our wanted date. And so the counter will start, and it will start the loop, and whenever we have the date looking equals the wanted date, and then we will equate the location to be the same as the counter itself, and then we will break the loop. Otherwise the loop will continue until there's nothing else in the data array, and it will exit. So if we have the location to be greater than -1, which means that we have matched a specific date, then we do these three equations, and those three equations are actually to get the total new confirmed cases and death and the recovered cases, which is the current date minus yesterday or the previous day of the array, and same for the deaths and the recovered cases. And then the output is going to be in this format: the new confirmed cases of a specific country on a specific day are the confirmed number, and the deaths and the recovered cases. Otherwise, this will mean that we didn't have any data in the array for that specific date, and the speak output is going to say unable to obtain the data of that specific country on that specific date. And then we have the Telegram URL, and this Telegram URL is going to send the whatever output to the Telegram. And for the defined functions, we have get day and we have get month. And get day, like we said, is going to have to add an additional digit into the input, and that is because we want to have all our inputs to be a 2-digit values, as the same as this here, 01, 02, 28. And then we will have the last 2 digits, because if we added 0 to a double digit or a 2-digit input, then it will have 3 inputs, and that will make an error in our code. So y.sub_str -2, it will take the last 2 digits of the input, and we will return y. For get month, it's going to be the same thing, but we just convert the ordinal input of the month to a 2-digit number directly, and that will make our code complete. And now we go into the test phase, and we will see the output of our intent. So here we start by calling the project night coronavirus.
Welcome to Alexa Knights Project 1 of Artificial Intelligence Semester 2 2020 to 2021 for Alexa COVID data. You may choose one of the 4 tasks and say, commence task 1, 2, 3, 4 to begin.
So we choose commence task 2.
Which country?
It will ask which country, so we will choose a correct country as well, Malaysia.
Is the country Malaysia?
And we will say yes, and then we will choose
which day?
we will choose 1st of March. First day.
I heard the day is what?
Yes.
Which month?
March.
Is it for March?
Yes.
Which year?
2021.
Is it for the year 2020?
So we confirm.
The new confirmed cases of Malaysia on March 1st, 2021 are 1828, while the new deaths are 5, and the new recovered cases are 2,486.
Okay, so we can see the numbers here, and we will see whether our code is correct or not. So we have 302,580 minus 300,572. So we have 1828, and this corresponds correctly here. And the new deaths are 5. It can be clearly seen here as 5. And our new recovered cases are going to be 275,903 minus 273,417. This is 2,486. 2,486. Okay, we can see that Frank also received the data and sent it to our Telegram here. Same values, same data, which makes it correct. And now we will try another format, which is on 1st of March. I want coronavirus new date. Okay.
Is the country Malaysia?
So it asked, as soon as we say yes.
I heard the day is 1.
Yes.
Is it for March?
It's for March as well.
Is it for the year 2021?
It is for the year 2021.
The new confirmed cases of Malaysia on March 1st, 2021 are 1828, while the new deaths are 5, and the new recovered cases are 2,486.
So this makes it correct as well. So we can have another trial here, which let's make it 2018. And okay, 2018. This is an early.
Is the country Malaysia?
Yes.
I heard the day is 1. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is it for March?
Yes.
Is it for the year 2018?
And we say yes.
Unable to obtain data of Malaysia on March 1st, 2018.
So this is an early day. It's in the past. Didn't have coronavirus, but the main thing here is that we don't have this date inside the API. The API started on 22nd of January 2020. So now we will see what will happen if we chose a wrong country name. So we go back again, say 2021, 12 of March, whatever. So we just say Malaya, for example. Yeah, Malaya.
Is the country Malaya?
So we say yes.
I heard the day is 12.
Yes.
Is it for March?
Yes.
Is it for the year 2020?
Okay.
Unable to obtain data of Malaya as it is not in the database.
So that means that it is not in the database as well. And this is because there is no such a country name as Malaya. And this is the wrong country actually. But this code will actually handle if there was a country, a real country that does not have any data inside this API. And so this was task 2, and we will continue with task 3 afterwards.
Hello there, good afternoon. I bid to everyone who's watching, to you, wherever you are. I hope you're in good health there, right? Okay, so my name is Afiq Mohd Rashdi. I'm an EE student. Okay, so I'm gonna begin with this explanation on my part, which is the task 3. I shall be showing to you. Okay, so for the project 1, it is required to have 4 tasks. So we divided our group members equally, and then they all have their own jobs. And then mine is task tree here. Okay, let me show you here. Okay, so for task tree here, you can see the utterances from the user, the intent slots, which is the data it'll be processing, and this is the intent confirmation. So for the utterances here, that's 5, which is commands task tree. There's as I said before, there's 4 tasks, right? So if it is task 1, it'll say comments task 3, task 2, comments task 2, and so on. It's just simple as that. And then the other 4 is the utterances that is what did I say, unique to my task, which is the user can input the data straightly in the answer. Like the first country choice is country 1, whereby the second country choice is country 2. Okay, good. Okay, nice. Okay, now telling for the intent slots, I will be using 4 main one as demanded by the assignment there, which is the country 1, country 2, criteria, compare country 1 and country 2. Yes, similar, they take countries, but in here we customize the slots to be Amazon first name. I will explain you in a while in the coding after this. So for country 1, you could take any name of country, country 2, so on. So for country 1, this is the speech prompt. It'll ask for the Alexa will ask me for the first country that I want to know, and I'll tell Alexa the name of the first country. Simple as that. Okay, and then it's the same for country 2. Just the same here. Yes, the same words, similar words. Okay, then we proceed to the third criteria, which is this one for the third data I meant. So it will ask the available criteria data ranges from confirmed deaths or death rate, which the user can only choose one per inquiry. So the project we're doing is about getting the COVID data as for confirmed cases, death cases, or the death rates. It could be anything. So the user can choose one of them, which and the user would specify here. And as I learned, as I explored the Alexa, which is great actually. The Alexa provided a lot of information and also guidance. So I enable these validations here so that the user can only say or input the only criteria that is accepted by the system. For example, just now, as you can see here, okay, let me go to the slots here. For criteria, there's only 3 values that accept, which is death, confirm, and death rates, and the synonyms there. So through the validation part, it would only accept these 3 into the program, into the code. If it says death cases, it will only input deaths into the code. So the code will process those code and then react to it. And yeah, only these 3 values will be accepted. If it gets other than these 3 values, Alexa will ask again the user again and again until it only gets one of the 3 values. Okay, comprendo? Okay, good. Okay, so for compare, okay, I think we finished for criteria just now. So for compare is the same technique. You're curious about country 1 having higher or lower data compared to country 2. Okay, so one of the requirements for the project assignment for task 3 is about the comparison between countries like Malaysia and Singapore, our friendly neighbor. We want to ask whether does Malaysia have higher confirmed cases than Singapore or lower? It is about those 2, higher or lower. It's just that if it's higher, then it's higher. If it's not higher, then it will tell it is not higher. And as the criteria slot before, it has active validation rules, in which the slots, the data that we will only accept are lower and higher only, and the synonyms of it. the same as the criteria there. Okay, I am done with the criteria and all the intents here, the intent slot. Okay, and then lastly is the intent confirmation. So when all of the data has been collected and accepted only the ones that we want to accept, which I program, then this confirmation will ask, this intent confirmation, that Alexa will ask again the user regarding what kind of data that the user want, and is this all what he wants, and to compare it to make sure that it is correct as per required by the user. Okay, next we go to the coding here. Okay, as the preset coding, most is provided here, but what I entered and edited here is this one, constant HTTPS require, and this one get HTTPS function from the URL. Okay, these two I learned it from the class. Professor Yap taught. Thank you. So this function enables the program enables Alexa to get data from the URL that will be provided in my intent later on. So let's say I want to get data from the COVID API URL, so it's https://www.covid19 something, and then it will go to the website and then get the data. That's the function. This part is it's like a var. It's like a variable declaration for this one, HTTPS. So it is a must to have these two. Okay, going to my intent, my task screen intent. So here's my name, Afiq here. Okay, so you can see here the asynchronous, which is taught in the class. It must be there. If it's not, there will be errors. And also, asynchronous is for it to run simultaneously, as I'm told, as I understand. Okay, so according to the intents that I showed earlier, the country 1, country 2, criteria compare, it is all in here. It must be in this format because the user requests, Alexa requests and the user responds. The user asks for it and tells the input, and then the Alexa records the input. Okay, that's the proper way. Okay, so this is the way to input the data into these slots. And this is the variable URL1 and URL2. Okay, why are the URL1 and URL2? Because okay, let's say we want to check for Malaysia. You can only search for at Malaysia here. So plus country 1, Malaysia. So beside there, it will be only Malaysia. It cannot be Malaysia plus Indonesia. No, URL doesn't work like that. So, okay, and then the URL2 is, you just put it here, Indonesia. So there's two URLs because there's two countries, two big data. Okay, and then going to the response, this part here, which is the same as this one. Response, await is like you wait for the get HTTPS function to get data from the URL first, then it runs to the second one. It doesn't just go ahead running all the codes. It waits first, then go to the second one. And this one is JSON parse. Parse is like all of this data on the COVID on this URL is scrambled, but this coding makes it much more manageable. As you can see here, it's properly aligned here, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. If not, it's gonna be just stacks of lines with full codes on the screen. It's not readable even to Alexa. So we have to do it like this so that Alexa can read it better. And the N is the data one length. N is like N is like this one, 417. Okay, so it takes the data of the whole numbers of the data in the COVID. Okay, next, this is the same for this one. Okay, next is this coding. If data 1 message not found here, it will speak output, pardon me, please try again and say comment substrate. This part is for if the user enters the name of the country that is not, it is wrong. Let's say the user says Malaysia J. It says Malaysia J. It cannot, there's no such countries, so there's no data, so it couldn't accept that. So when it doesn't accept that, okay, let me show you an example, okay? Okay, this is the correct one. What if I mention here Malaysia G? So you can see that there's the message not found there. So this is what I am trying to scan here. If it detects that, then it will run the program. The attempt is not due to the wrong spelling or unavailable data in the database. Okay. Else, this is the correct version. If the user gets it correct and all of it not correct, checks out, then the speed output data this. Okay, for here, you can see the criteria here. As I mentioned before, there's 3: confirm, death, and death rate. So this coding is like let me explain. Okay, in here, there's a lot of head messages, I call it. So in these head messages, there's date, active, recovered, death, confirmed. So let's say I want to get this data. So I'll write dot confirmed after the data there. You can see there, data 1 dot confirm. So it will be input into the variable data type 1. Okay, and then the quote, and then everything else follows lah. Deaths, and then this is the equation to get the death rates, which is the deaths over the confirmed cases times 100%, which is fixed to 2 decimal points, because we want to make it much more clearer and nicer to the user, right? Okay, after that, after the criteria, it will compare the data stored in data type 1 or data type 2. So if the data type 1 is more than data type 2, which 1 means like the country 1 or country 2. If country 1 is higher than country 2, it is higher. If not, it's lower. This is like a fact checking if it's higher or lower in terms of facts. Okay, the next coding, the if compare here. Okay, if compare is equal to data comparison is here. The compare part is the comparison part is about. I'm sorry. The comparison part is regarding the user wanting to know whether it is higher or not, or lower from the first country to the second country. So if the user says if is Malaysia higher, has higher cases than Indonesia, then it is input here higher. Then if it's the same, higher here, which is the fact checking. If it's the same, so the compare speed will be is. If not, it's gonna be is not. Okay, after this, the speak output will speak the final messages of the output of the program, which is the ultimate output that we want. It's total COVID criteria, cases of comparison, country 1, the type, and total cases for country 2 is And this is the Telegram URL to my Telegram. The Alexa will send a Telegram to my it's not Alexa. The Alexa will enable the Telegram, my Telegram bot, to send a message to me. Yes. Okay, without hereby, I shall show you the coding here. No, the running of the Alexa by typing. Sorry, wrong typo here. Project. Hope it's working. Okay, good, it's working.
Welcome to Alexa Nights Project 1 of Artificial Intelligence Semester 2 2020 to 2021 for
Okay, we let her
Alexa
finish.
COVID data. You may choose one of the 4 tasks and say, commence task 1, 2, 3, 4 to begin.
Okay, so my task I want to check is task 3, right? Okay, so task 3. So this is the task 3.
Please tell me the first country you seek to know.
This is the country variable. Shall I input the name Malaysia here?
Second country of choice.
Then our successful neighbor, Singapore.
Available criteria data ranges from confirmed, deaths and death rate. You can choose 1 per inquiry.
Okay, so we can choose only 3, confirmed deaths or death rate. So I'm gonna choose confirmed, which means confirmed cases.
You're curious about Malaysia having higher or lower data compared to Singapore?
Okay, so in this case, I want to know whether Malaysia has lower data than Singapore. I just want to know that if it's lower cases. I know it's not, but let's just test. We know Malaysia has higher cases.
To sum it all, Malaysia is your first.
Okay, right. Confirm those data. Okay, good.
Total COVID confirmed cases of Malaysia is 323,763, where it is not lower than Singapore, where the total confirmed
Yes,
cases
it's not
of
lower. It's
Singapore
of course higher. Malaysia always beat
60,105.
Singapore one. Okay, and then you can see the Telegram bot here. My Telegram bot. Yes, it's sending the same message as what speak output here. Okay, let me test one more time for the task. This time I will test about whether the Alexa will only accept the only values that accept within the criteria and compare. Okay. We shall just go skip here.
Welcome to Alexa Nights Project, one of artificial. Please tell me the first country you seek to know.
Just Singapore,
Second country of choice.
Indonesia.
Available criteria
Let's
data
say
ranges
I'll
from
just
confirmed
write
deaths and death rate.
like that. Okay, if I just write like that, it's gonna input. Please choose only one of the 3 mentioned criteria, which is I'm gonna choose death rate here. Okay, this one I'm curious whether it's higher or not.
To sum it all,
Yes. Okay, good. It's functioning as it's
total
supposed to.
COVID death rate cases of Singapore is 0.05%, where it is not higher than.
Okay, now I'm gonna present to you about the coding if it detects that I'm entering the wrong name of country there, and it's gonna detect that. Okay, alright.
May you tell me the name of your first country choice?
Okay, input them Malaysia G,
Second country of choice?
Singapore.
Available criteria data.
Okay, good.
You're curious about Malaysia.
At this time, it couldn't detect yet. It wouldn't run the detection program yet.
To sum it all,
But
Malaysia.
after this, it will detect. See there. So,
Pardon me. Please try again and say commence task 3. Your attempt was not successful due to wrong spelling of the countries or unavailable data in the database.
okay, so we can know that the name of the country might be wrong here, or that data is unavailable in the database. So this is a checking process that the user could know whether what did they do wrong. Okay, with that, I thank you very much. Then I shall go I shall next present to the Alexa voice speaking with my sister after this. Alright, thank you.
Okay, moving into task 4. So before I get into the build section of task 4, to provide a general overview, so this program simply what it does is it provides the latest coronavirus update or the latest news on coronavirus in Malaysia and sends the information to the Telegram. So this is the whole function of this program. Now under the build section, as you can see, we have included 5 different utterances which the user can be used to call out the program and cause the program to run. So a user could simply say, give me the latest coronavirus update in Malaysia, and the program will run, providing the information and sending the information to the Telegram. So in our demonstration later, I'll be using the bottom 2 utterances, which is coronavirus update in Malaysia and comments task 4. Okay, as for the slots are empty. So you can see we are not requiring any inputs from the user. So to put it simply, this program automatically will just provide the latest update on coronavirus in Malaysia and sends to the Telegram without requiring any input from the user. The only thing a user has to do is to call out the intent, to call out the program. Okay, so with that said, I will now move into the coding section of the program. Okay, so the coding section of the program. So let me just go to our specific intent. Okay, so this is our intent. So as you can see, first we will start off by initializing our intent. Get task for intent handler. So once we have initialized, now since we are going to require an external API, an external URL to be searched, we will have to use the function asynchronous await and promise in our coding. So hence we have used the function asynchronous and await in here. Okay, now regarding the API, so the API provided was newsapi.org, and under this URL there are 3 different methods for searching for latest news all around the world, namely everything, headlines and sources. So everything will simply search for all the news all around the world without any filter, whereas for headline it will look for the top headlines or the breaking news all around the world. And as for sources, sources is mainly to search for wanted publishers. So hence that is why we have used the term everything in our URL, and we have also included the parameters that we will need to use in this program, which is to only provide coronavirus update in Malaysia. So hence that is why we have included Covid-19 and Malaysia. So this means that for every news that has been searched out there, it will search for COVID-19, the term COVID-19 and Malaysia in the news, and then and only then the news will be filtered out. Okay, and the API key is our specific individual API key. Okay, now variable response and data. So these 2 variables, the function of this variable is to collect the information from the URL, the information, and convert them into a JSON format. Okay, now besides that, we have also initialized other variables, variable n, I, score, location and check. So variable n is actually the length of the articles, the number of articles inside the URL. So in this case, if I search this link, so if I search through this link, n will represent 20, because n will represent the number of articles in this URL. So in this case, it has 20 articles. Okay, now variable I, which will be used in the for loop later, and variable score represents an empty array, which we will use to store the number of articles, which we will use later in the for loop, and variable location is set to 0. Variable check is initialized to -1. Variable location and check will be used later in the for loop, so I'll be talking about it now. So with that said, I will move into the for loop. So as you can see in the for loop, we have first initialized I to 0 and I less than n, and I will follow an incremental order. So this for loop will actually continue its operation for 20 times, because 20 times is n. 20 times represents n, which is the number of articles. So for each article, starting from 0 until 19, now starting from 0, for each article, it will go through the if loop. So it will search for the title, the description, and the content of each article for the substring Malaysia. So when it searches through this thing, if it contains the term Malaysia, the output will not be -1. Okay, so this search, the function search, that is how it works actually. It will search for the substring under the title, under that specific title. Okay, it will search for the substring, and if it does contain the substring, the output will not be -1, and vice versa, which means if it does not contain, the output will be -1. So in this case, what it does is, for each article, if the title or the description or the content contains the term Malaysia, the output will not be -1. Then it will move into the if loop, and the check will be set to 0. And now the address of the score, initially we have initialized location to 0, so location has the value 0. So now for the value 0 in score, which actually represents the address of the array, so it will start from the address 0 in the array. So the address 0 in the array now will have the value of the specific article. So if that article contains the term Malaysia, the title or the description of the content has the term Malaysia, that specific article number will be added into the array from the location 0. And now the location will follow an incremental order, which means for the next loop, the value will be added into the address 1. Okay, to searching the first round in the for loop, it will search through the first article. If this article contains the term Malaysia, which it does, so since it contains the term Malaysia, so automatically what happens is check will be set to 0. Now the score at location 0 will have the value 0, and now the location will follow an incremental order. So for the next round, so it will search through the next article. If this article has the term Covid-19, has the term Malaysia in it, automatically what happens is the number of that article will be added into the array for the next address 1. So this process will continue for 20 times, since the number of articles in the URL has only 20 of them. Okay, and well, that is for the for loop. Alright, so once it has already completed the for loop, so when it has already moved out of the for loop, so what do we have now is, in the array score, we will have the number of whichever articles that had the term Malaysia in them. So if in this URL there were only 5 articles of different numbers that had the term Malaysia in it, in the array score, for each location will have the number of whichever articles that had the term Malaysia in it. So now out of the for loop, so it will go through the if loop next. So as you can see, if check is more than -1, now the check is more than -1, because if in the for loop earlier, since there was in the title and description and the content the term Malaysia in it, we have already triggered the check to be at value 0. So since now the value is at 0, so the if loop will continue next. So under the if loop, what it does is, so as you can see, we have initialized a new constant random, which what it simply does is it picks any random integer in the score array. So if the array contained 5 different sets of article numbers which had the term Malaysia in them, So this random integer, it will just simply pick any integers between 0 to 5. Okay, now once it has already picked an integer, this integer will then be used in our output. So as you can see, speak output, the title is, we will select the specific integer under the article's title and its corresponding description, and this output will be sent into the Telegram. Okay, so the news then will be received in the Telegram. Okay, so this happens only if there was the term Malaysia in either of the title, description of the content, which caused the check to be set to 0. Whereas if there was no title Malaysia in any of this, the output will simply say I did not find anything. And that is how this whole program actually runs. So now I will test it out, and so we can get a better view on how it works. Okay, alright, so first we will invoke the scheme.
Welcome to Alexa Knights Project 1 of Artificial Intelligence Semester 2 2020 to 2021 for Alexa COVID data.
For example,
You may choose one of the 4 tasks and say, commence task 1, 2, 3, 4 to begin.
Okay.
The title is
So,
Malaysia to get first batch of Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccines on February 21st,
and this will actually
Reuters.
send into the Telegram.
The description is, Malaysia will get its first batch of COVID-19 vaccines produced by US and German drug makers Pfizer and BioNTech on February 21st, and kick off its inoculation drive 5 days after that, Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin said on Tuesday.
So let's see, for this time I'm going to try coronavirus update in Malaysia. Okay. So as you can see, right.
The title is, Malaysia enforces requirement for improved worker accommodation to rein in COVID-19.
So so with that shown, I will now end my presentation. So as a conclusion, we have seen the taskbar actually works. It will not only provide the information over here, it will also send the information to the specific Telegram ID. And so with that said, thank you very much for your time, and with this I'll end the presentation.
Open Project 9, Coronavirus.
Welcome to Alexa Knights Project 1 of Artificial Intelligence Semester 2 2020 to 2021 for Alexa COVID data. You may choose one of the 4 tasks and say, commence task 1, 2, 3, 4 to begin.
Task 1.
You can tell me a country name to know its latest coronavirus statistics. What is the name of the country you wish to seek?
Singapore.
Total confirmed coronavirus cases in Singapore on March 17, 2021 is 60,152. The latest number of deaths reported are 30 and the rate of mortality is 0.05%. The latest number of recovered cases reported are 60,014 and the rate of recovery is 99.77%. Finally, the latest active cases in Singapore is 106 cases.
Give me coronavirus new data of India on 1 January 2021.
Which day?
1.
Which day?
1
Which month?
January.
Which month?
January.
The The new confirmed cases of India on January 1st, 2021 are 20,035, while the new deaths are 256, and the new recovered cases are 23,181.
Does China have higher cases than India?
Choose the second country well.
India.
Please choose only one of the three mentioned criterias.
Confirm.
To sum it all, China is your first choice country, India is your second choice country, confirmed is your chosen criteria for the current inquiry. Higher is your chosen method for comparison of both countries. True?
True.
Total COVID confirmed cases of China is 101,460, where it is not higher than India, where the total confirmed cases of India is 11,474,605. You may choose one of the four tasks and say, commence task 1, 2, 3, 4 to begin.
Task 4.
The title is, Adun Speaks, The Necessity of COVID-19 Vaccine Passport Between Malaysia and Spore, Malaysia Kini. The description is, Adun Speaks, The Necessity of COVID-19 Vaccine Passport Between Malaysia and Spore, Malaysia Kini. View full coverage on Google News.